Hello everybody, Professor Barth is here, history professor at Arizona State University. So, there's a big item in the news last couple days, and it's that United Airline blow-up controversy over overbooking. And in the grand scheme of things, this story is not a big story, right? But it is all over the news right now on the web, and in times like these, it's healthy to ask ourselves, what can we learn from something, a small event like this that gives us a bigger picture? And so I'm going to offer something of that nature today. First off, let's just get this out of the way. The cop in that video was acting completely inappropriately, thuggishly. That was thuggish behavior. And that is not a statement about cops. The vast majority of cops are great people who protect our cities and our communities and do good things. But you do have bad apples, and when one of them acts that way, they need to be called out. So there's nothing wrong with calling out thuggish behavior from police, just like there's nothing wrong with calling out thuggish behavior among individuals. It's not making a blanket statement about human beings. You're just calling out what you're seeing. And that was totally inappropriate behavior. And quite frankly, I'm a little shocked that people did not intervene and do something. And that might be easy for me to say, here in Scottsdale, Arizona, in the comforts of my home, right? Maybe in a moment I wouldn't have done anything either. But, it's you can't help but think that you watch that video, and I'm just watching it like, man, like, if I were there, I would have been awfully tempted to get up in the middle of that aisle and block something, I might be wrong, right? I might be some Monday morning quarterbacking, they call it. But either way, I mean, you can't help but think when you watch something like that, have Americans gone soft in the last couple of generations, right? Like, can you imagine previous American generations, just standing by watching something like that happening? I really can't see it, quite frankly. I remember we were founded by men and women in this country who tarred and feathered British officials, right? So, but I'll move on from that. What can we learn about overbooking? Because that's a bit of a complex issue. And I teach at ASU, I teach the history of money and the history of banking. And it just occurred to me in the last couple of days, really overbooking is not unlike fractional reserve banking. It's a lot like fractional reserve banking. They share many similarities, as a matter of fact. And one of those similarities is that they are counting on this idea that not everyone will cash in, right? In the case of a fractional reserve bank, they're counting on, essentially betting or banking on this idea that not every depositor will demand his or her deposit all at once. And so they can get away with, profitably deploying people's money, even though not all of the deposits are literally in the vault of the bank. Now, some people say that's fraudulent, and I disagree. It's not fraudulent. It seems completely rational to me to do something like that. In the same way, overbooking a flight does not occur to me as something that's irrational. You are betting on the idea that some people won't show up, or there will be empty seats, and so you overbook the flight. The problem that United Airlines ran into in this particular situation is that they did not take the loss, right, that they should have. Just like a fractional reserve bank might have to take a loss in order to satisfy a rush of depositors, an airline that overbooks its flights ought to be prepared to accept a loss. Now, the United Airlines responded to this dilemma by offering the passengers $800, an $800 compensation, and nobody took it, and so they just gave up. after that $800 point. Why did they give up? They should have continued to up the award, the compensation. Offer $1,500. Any takers? Any takers? No? Okay. $2,000. $2,000 to postpone your flight. Any takers? Guarantee you there would have been a taker at $2,000, right? You say, well, that's a big blow to United Airlines. Well, that's the cost that they have to bear for engaging in this practice called overbooking, right? They're already making, on a daily basis, loads of profit. I'm not sure precisely what the dollar amount is, but it's a whole lot more than a couple $1,000s. And so in the occasional instance in which this happens, they have to be prepared to pay up, right? That man who got dragged off from the plane paid for his seat. And that was his seat. You cannot just take that from him. The bargain, the contract was made. And maybe they have fine print or whatever. I'm just talking about common sense, right? And so they didn't pay up, and so that's United Airlines' big error here. And because they didn't do that, now their stock has declined by, what is it? I think it's lost $250 million in value. The last I checked, it went down by over a percentage point today. It's a pretty big loss. I say good, right? Because y'all messed up. And hopefully other airlines get the picture. So hopefully, again, taking an instance that seems maybe insignificant and drawing larger ideas from it. If you have not checked my earlier videos in the past, this is your first time seeing me, I encourage you to check those out. And in the meantime, God bless.